Hey everybody. I always look crazy every time I don't know, I guess because I be in deep thought when I get up here. But anyway, it is Tuesday. This is the last Tuesday podcast. I'm kind of excited, but then I'm kind of nervous because now I feel like everybody gonna be wanting me to do something on Thursday, and I'm gonna be like, no, I got my podcast because they so anyway, because that'd be a whole like little set of stuff I'm gonna go into. Um, but I gotta guess. I gotta guess. Um, for my last podcast, and I'm gonna try to tame her, but I have no control over this woman. So I want y'all to know in advance. I want y'all to know in advance. I have no control. I have no clue what she gonna say from day to day. Like from day to day. I don't even know. You just love her in the moment and love her in the now. So, but she is no, just joking, but for real. But she is such a wonderful person. I'm so honored to have her for the very last show on Tuesday. She is my cousin, but not my real cousin, but she my cousin ever since I met her. The first time we met, we've been friends ever since. Like, no, like, let's reconnect. No, nothing. It's been a connection every since. Um, she is my accountability partner. Um, I gotta talk her up because I'm trying to make sure she be good when she come up here. But she is definitely my accountability partner. The person who I really confide my everything into, and she's very special to me. So I'm gonna bring her up here. She's a therapist and a comedian on the side. I'm just kidding. Well, let me just bring her up.
Hey, I heard you talk about me.
Wow,
Listen, don't be telling me I'm a comedian. I don't even get paid for that.
I told these people I have no control over your mouth.
Listen.
I don't know what you gonna say. Let me. Oh, I got my sweat rag. Let me get myself together. Let me.
I'm not
Let me
crazy today, y'all. I'm okay.
you okay today?
Today I'm okay. Yes.
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
cousin.
You
Today
mean
I'm
you
okay.
okay right now? You okay
I'm
right
okay
now?
right now. I'm okay right now.
Okay, y'all pray for me. Let me get my water because I know I'm gonna have to drink it. Hold on, hold on. Let me get a sip.
Hey.
So, Denise, introduce yourself to the people. Tell them what you do, where you
Yes.
from. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, what it be like?
Yeah. So to everybody in Detroit, I just want to say what up, though. I was born there, Henry Ford Hospital, raised in Buffalo. So Bills Mafia, that's what's up. Number one
Hey,
team.
hey, hold on. Don't
Yeah,
wait a minute. Don't get it.
listen. You said introduce myself, so I'm doing that.
Go
Raised in
ahead. Go
Buffalo.
ahead. Go
As,
ahead. Go
as my cousin said, Mr. Masha, I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in the great state of Florida. And it's my purpose to help the global majority heal. So the global majority is Black and brown individuals. We're the global majority. If go ahead and look it up. So I help them heal from generational trauma or generational curses, as people call it. I like to say those negative family patterns. So they come, we meet, we work through that, we break those down, and we eliminate that. A lot of the individuals that I work with are the first in their family to either say no, to either go to college, to either put up those boundaries to seek therapy and to want to heal and to go and take that back to the next generation that's coming up after them. So I'm honored to be on the podcast. I'm honored to be interviewed by Mr. Masha. Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Yay!
you.
Yay! But let's step into it because some people are not gonna know what the global majority means, and because I know like sometimes people be like, you be using big words, I don't know what you're talking about, but and not being funny with them, but just
Yeah.
like I want because sometimes like when you as you advance in life, your vocabulary advances. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yes.
you learn what different words mean and you learn different stuff. So for someone who would not know like what is global majority and how are we, like the black and brown people, I'm pecan tan, so I would be one of them people too. But
Yes, you will. Because
so
globally on this earth, we are the majority race. We are the majority population. And
mhm.
so by me being a therapist, first and foremost, there's still a lot of stigma around mental health counseling and people seeing a therapist. Like I'm pretty sure, Miss Coach, you have a lot of customers because people rather see a coach than a therapist. Because when you come and see me, that means you crazy. We don't use that terminology, of course, but it
Right.
means that you have issues or problems, or there is something happening. However, people see us for relationship issues, communication issues,
Right.
learning who they are, learning how to say no to their family, or learning how to grow, and just making sure that they are on that right path and that they stay on that right path. So the global
True.
majority is the Black and brown population, and what other races deem as a minority population. That's who the global majority is.
Right. Okay. I really like that. And thank you for explaining that to me. As it pertains to therapy, I know that it's really hard for some people to seek a therapist because, like you said, they always consider a therapist to be, if you go see a therapist, then you quote unquote you crazy, you got issues or whatever the case may be. But how important, like literally, how important is it? Because a therapist can do something different than what a coach can do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like for me, a coach, we deal with the future. You know what I'm saying? Like where you're going. Sometimes we have to go back, but we really don't go back that far. What is it for a therapist?
100%. So for us, we do go back because we want to find out, where did this issue start?
Hmm.
Where did your core values and your core beliefs be? That's important because that shapes where you are. The first 5 years of your life is very much foundational. So it could have been rooted in a healthy environment or an unhealthy environment. There could have been trauma or non-trauma, or big T and little t, as my colleague liked to say. We
Right,
don't know. And so all of that does shape our future, and it shapes who we are today. And if we do not go back to see where it starts, so we can work through that, we cannot continue to move forward. So this is
right,
why people come and seek therapy. It doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. We like to say something happened to you. Something happened to you. You experienced something. And so now we're here to help you unravel that, because we don't have all the answers. I don't have a magic wand to fix you, and I'm not
right,
going to. I
right.
will help you figure some things out, work through it. We can get on a healing path and healing journey,
Hmm.
and to help you move forward, because therapy is not forever.
Right, right. So you said that therapy is not forever. How long do you usually work with the client?
It depends on what their goals are when they come into therapy.
Okay, so you set goals.
Yes, we set goals in therapy. If you are in therapy, you should have a treatment plan. Your
Mhm.
therapist should create one for you. You should create one with your therapist. Your therapist will ask you, why are you coming to therapy? And what do you hope it looks like when you are done with therapy? Now, we do have clients who don't ever want to leave, but we do encourage them, like, it's okay to like leave the nest, because
Right,
it really is. So we
right.
do work on a treatment plan. We are able to diagnose for the situations that you're coming into therapy for. And
Hmm.
that diagnosis is not always permanent, and sometimes it can change depending on the situation.
Sure. I can understand that. I
Mhm.
definitely can understand that. How many people do you think, on an average, if it was like 10 people, how many people out of those 10 people would be African Americans or Black and Brown people that seek therapy?
One, I would say one. And that's because they may have heard someone else speak about therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say I receive a lot of my clients through word of mouth,
Right.
or through being on directories with insurance companies, or on Psychology Today or other directories that I'm on. Social media as well plays a huge part in how I receive my clients too. Number one is word of mouth. If someone else has done it and they can see the progress that someone else is making or has made, then they're more apt to engage in therapy.
Right. Right. So, what are some of the stigmas behind people seeking therapy?
Um, Everyone will know that you're in therapy. Therapy means that you are crazy. You'll have a label that'll stay with you for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that your therapist may yell at you or may judge you. Like I've actually had clients say, "Are you going to yell at me?" or "I'm sorry I upset you." And I'm very much a non-judgmental therapist. Like
Right.
nothing that someone can say to me will shock me. You're like,
Right.
I might be shocked here, but I'm like, oh, okay. So let's move forward and let's work through it because there's a reason that you're coming to see me for therapy. There's a reason you're coming to see me for your healing, to start your healing journey, or there's a reason you're just coming in to get some answers. Everyone
Okay.
that seeks a therapist doesn't always have a mental illness that they're working on. Sometimes you might just need a checkup to make sure that you're doing okay,
Right.
and that's fine.
Right. So you as a therapist, do you take more of a holistic approach? Because I know that sometimes I've heard people say, I'm not going to therapy because they're gonna try to put me on medication. They're gonna try to do this to me. Some people like, yeah, I want to go in there and I want to lay on the couch. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So,
yeah. There are so many. I don't have a couch in all of my offices. Okay, I have two offices. I don't always have a couch.
right.
And I even had a client say, "Denise, the couch is for the clients, not the therapist." I'm like, all right, like I can't rest.
Right.
And as a therapist, I just want you to know, therapists, if we are licensed mental health counselors, licensed professional counselors, licensed marriage and therapy counselors, licensed
Mhm.
clinical social workers, I think I said all of that. We are not able to prescribe medication unless we are a doctor or a nurse practitioner, or
Mhm.
unless we have a certification that qualifies us to prescribe medication.
Right.
So
Right.
not all of us are prescribing medication.
Right.
So when someone comes to see me, I always encourage them to go to your doctor and get some blood work completed. Make sure there's nothing medically going on with you, because
Mhm.
there are some medical issues that look like mental health symptoms. And so once we rule that out, once we rule out there is nothing medically wrong or happening with you,
Right.
then we proceed with therapy. And even while you are going through that, we still proceed with therapy. Like
Right.
there's been individuals I have coached to go into the doctor, coached to go in to see a psychiatrist, because as a therapist, I'm trained to see other issues that's happening. I'm trained to see cycles that's happening in your life, and I'm trained to see those patterns.
Right.
So I can point certain things out to you, but it's up to you, as a client of mine, to move forward in that direction that I'm pointing you into.
Okay.
So we like to use therapy in conjunction with medication. If you're on medication, come and see a therapist also, because you may not need that medication for the rest of your life.
Hmm. Hmm. I like that. I like that because I know sometimes people are like, I want to be on medication. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able, you know what I'm saying? And so they get therapists and psychologists um, kind of mixed up because
Yeah.
you just group everybody together. You know what I'm saying? When it's a
Mm-hmm.
separate thing because what therapy does is Denise gonna explain it.
Yes. So we're therapists slash counselors slash psychotherapists. You will
Mhm.
come into our office, whether it's virtually or it's in person. We may have a couch. We may not. Like all of us, we don't have a couch. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I
I just
don't
want to
think
put
y'all
that
gonna
out
go
there.
and lay down. People be watching movies, so they be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go lay on the couch." There ain't no couch in
Yeah.
the
Some
office.
people have fantasies about going to see a therapist. We gotta knock those fantasies down. Like we ain't that. So you will tell us what's bringing you into therapy at this moment in your life. Because 10 times out of 10, that moment that's happening right now has been happening, and you are brave enough currently in this moment to come and seek our assistance. So
Mhm.
we don't have all the answers,
Right.
100%, but we are there trying to unravel and help you put the pieces together of what happened. So a psychologist, they are they have their bachelor's, they have their master's, they have their license. Some of them have their PhD. They are able to complete testing and do counseling. Not
Mhm.
all therapists slash counselors slash psychotherapists are able to do that testing
Right.
and
Right.
do the counseling at the same time. So I
Right.
am not certified to do any type of psychological assessments.
Right. So basically,
Hmm.
I tell you what I'm coming for, what I feel I need, and
Yes.
then you come up with a plan as to get me to the next level to get past whatever that is. And it could be anything from molestation, alcoholism. It could just be like I can't get my creative mind going, right?
Yes. Yes. So we come up with that plan together.
Okay.
So if your plan, let's say you have trauma on your plan and you really, really, really want to work on your trauma. And
Hmm.
as a therapist, I know you're not ready. So we're going to work on other things. And you get mad at me because you want to address the trauma. And I have to sit you down and say, look, you don't have any healthy coping skills. So when we are opening up this Pandora box, you don't know how to manage your emotions.
Mm,
And so there are so many stories that we see on the news of people who don't know how to manage their emotions.
right.
You running somebody over, you having road rage, you punching somebody in the face, you're out here deleting people. There are so many things that happen because individuals do not know how to manage and or regulate their emotions. Many
True.
times we don't even know what those emotions are. We don't have a name. We can't state them. We just out here feeling some type of way.
Mm, mm. You just described. No, I was playing. Never. Oh my
Listen.
god. I'm just playing. Well, I mean, it makes sense for you to break it down that way because, like I said, sometimes people they don't know what a therapist does, and they don't know like how it could support them or help them get to the next level.
Hmm.
Because, in my opinion, sometimes people are stuck. Um, they're stuck in like they're hitting the brick wall, or they don't know where to go. They don't know what the next step is, and
Hmm.
they don't realize that, wait a minute, maybe I do need to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes, and it's okay to have a mental health checkup. At least we will do a questionnaire. We can do a biopsychosocial assessment and
mhm,
tell you where we see some areas where you can improve. And
right,
it's up to you if you want to move forward or not. A
which is
lot
a
of
great
times,
assessment.
yes. Another stigma is that therapy is expensive,
Mhm,
and we're average price. Um, you are able to use your insurance to help pay for our services. And
right.
we do deserve to be paid for our services, and our services are not always free because college wasn't free and our bills is not free. And for us to maintain and keep up with our certifications and our CEU educational credits, that's not free either.
Mhm,
However, there are different resources where if you are not able to pay for therapy, that they are out there. There are
right.
therapists who see people pro bono,
Mhm,
and that's fine because they can afford to do that. There
right.
are different foundations that can help men and women receive therapy services. If you are working and you have health insurance, you can contact your human resources department and ask them for the employee assistance program phone number. What
Mhm,
they will do is look for therapists in your area, and you can be as specific as possible. I want a Black female therapist
mhm,
who practices in this area and works with this. I want a Black male therapist. I
right.
want an Asian therapist. I want a Native American. Whatever therapist you are looking for, your insurance has that information.
Right.
So they are what the EAP services will do for you is offer you free therapy. Now, some places offer 3, 4, or 6 sessions for free.
Mhm,
And so
okay.
you are able to use that. Other times you may have a small copay to pay for insurance. And sometimes your insurance will pay for the whole thing. Will just cover everything. Because mental health has been so important and so prevalent and at the forefront since 2020.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
2020.
I like it. I
Yes.
like it 100%. I like it. So you have some other things that you do outside of therapy, and actually you have an event coming up really soon. So what's up
Yes.
with that?
So the event I'm having is based in Tampa, Florida, and it is in person. By the way, so many people have asked if it can be on Zoom and or recorded, so we're working on that as well. So we may offer it on Zoom at a later date. I will ask the presenters. So the first seminar slash workshop we're having is entitled "Healing the Mother-Daughter Relationship." I'm so excited about that. That's March 16th. It's going to be here in Tampa, Florida, and it's going to be at the MLK Center on North Oregon Street. That's in West Tampa. If you don't know, the cost is $60 per family. So if you are interested, just contact me. Contact Ms. Zipmouth Motivation, who is one of our awesome and amazing presenters,
Who is
so we
that?
can send you the information.
Who
Zipmouth
is that?
Motivation, she gonna be there, y'all. She is
No,
gonna present.
no, no, ma'am. Damasha is going to be there. I'm playing.
Y'all know how she is. Y'all her followers, so y'all know how she is. I am like I'm really excited to be able to have that event because what I want to do again, as I spoke about in the beginning, is healing the global majority, those negative family patterns, those
Right,
generational curses. Like we have to start somewhere. Like we can't heal by just I'm healing. Like what are you actually doing? What work? This is the work. So
right,
healing the mother-daughter relationship. If your relationship is healthy, come. You can help someone else. If it's not healthy, come so you can learn and understand how it can be a healthier state. If your mother does not want to come, you come so you can learn how to move forward in your life.
right,
If
right,
your daughter does not want to come, come so you can learn how to move forward. Like we have to start somewhere. It starts with the family, it starts with us. Like there's so many issues that happen because we do not have those healthy relationships with our family, and blood is thicker than water. That's your family. You always supposed to be there, and all of those negative connotations that we don't know that's negative and or unhealthy that we really listen to and pay attention to.
right.
We don't always have healthy relationships with those around us, whether it's romantic, peers, your boss, your coworker, or even your children. We
Mm,
want to disrupt that and put you on a path. We have mothers here who don't have daughters who's looking for someone to mentor, or daughters who are motherless, or their relationship is so unhealthy. They're looking for some guidance. And so what I would like to do and what I would like to happen at that event is that some people will link up and become mentors and mentees and will really heal. You can learn how to forgive, how to move forward, and how to go through this life. And it may not be the way you wanted to, but this is the cards that you're dealt right now. So how
mhm.
can you move forward when you have these unhealthy relationships, especially with your mother?
Right, right. So, do you think you would eventually do one with the mother and son, or what are you thinking?
Yes. So my goal for 2024, March is the mother daughter, June is the father son. September I would like to have the father daughter, and December I would like to have the mother son.
That's
And
amazing.
prayerfully in 2025 we can begin like siblings and cousins and like the whole family. I wanted to have a point where the whole family can come together and have these discussions. There's so many issues and family patterns that were swept under the rug. You know what happens in the house, stay in the house.
Hmm.
But what happened when the house is burning on fire and we have to stay in the house?
Because
You
nobody
know
wants
what?
to be there by itself.
Correct. Don't you
Right.
tell nobody what's that? What I used to hear a lot. Don't you tell no white people what happened inside this house. Well, I don't even know white people to talk to tell. Like I'm
Right? Like,
confused.
who we talking
And
about?
so, and so now here we are, 20s, 30s,
Hmm.
40s, and we're keeping these family secrets that's really killing us on the inside.
True, true. And we
We're
just
trying
sat
to
in
heal.
them.
We're trying to
Right.
heal.
We're trying to heal, and I think that people been sapping them for a long time. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like they just been putting over it, or they continue in the same mess that they in, thinking that it's like it's okay and that's normal life. The one thing that I know I'm getting tired of hearing is that might be normal for them, but it's not normal.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
understand that that might be normal for them, but that is not normal. It's dysfunction. You know what
It's
I'm
very
saying?
much. It's very
And
much
then
dysfunction.
how can they grow and be who they truly are unless they get past that? Unless they can get past the dysfunction as to,
Yes.
like I don't know. I
In
don't know.
order to heal, you must first acknowledge that there is a problem or that there is a wound.
Hmm.
And so you can allow that wound to fester and not take care of it, and it can become necrotic, aka dead, and you may have to cut that limb off. And
True.
so we are living in a culture right now where people, I just cut them off. It was just toxic. I'm cutting them off.
Uh-huh.
Did you give that person a chance? Did you
Right.
let that person know they crossed your boundaries? Do you
Right.
even have boundaries? Do you know what boundaries are? Do you
Hmm.
know healthy boundaries? Do you
Right.
know that this is a path to healing? Wanting to change, wanting to do something different. If I did not have that desire, I would have raised my daughter the same way my mother is raising us. So I
Right.
can look back a couple of generations. I'm old enough now, y'all. I'm 45 and my daughter is 23. And so I'm old enough now to look back and look at how my grandmother raised my mother and was there in her life, and when her father was allowed to be in her life, and see how my mother raised us. Like, we have generations of family that was just surviving and they weren't able to thrive. So here we are receiving all of those negative family patterns, and that stopped with us, with me and my sisters, my nieces, my nephews, my great nieces, great nephews, so on and so forth. That
Right.
stopped. Yes, I have great nieces and great nephews. Yeah, I do. But that stops with us. And in order for that to stop, we had to be brave enough to go against the grain. Like, the first time I said no to my family, my upper lip was sweating, my underarms was sweating. I was like, oh my gosh, something is going to happen. But it
Right.
wasn't, because we always hear our elders say, always do for your family. Blood is thicker than water, like, AKA, continue to become a people pleaser.
Right.
Now, they did not do that on purpose. It was just what was passed down, and it's what was
Right.
traditionally
Right.
passed down. And so now we're able to see and understand, like, oh, okay, here's how that can be disrupted.
True.
I'm understanding your thoughts. You
True.
could come to me for therapy. Man, when I was younger, Miss Denise, this, and I could finish your sentence because many of us kind of grew up in the same household, low key. We
Hmm.
have the same tradition, and that's just across the global majority population.
Right.
That's something I've seen. And it's learning now how to navigate with those individuals who are not in therapy, who may not want to change at the moment because it's working for them, and who have an issue with you putting up your boundaries and you changing and you challenging, them and their beliefs, because you want to do something different and you want to be healthy. There's nothing wrong with that. Something happened to you while you were younger and growing up, and so now you're able to confront what's happening. You can keep what you were taught and throughout the rest. And so now we're navigating on this new path and this new journey.
Right. I like that challenging beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
think that people forget that it's okay to challenge what you was taught, in your young, like it's okay to challenge it and try to do something completely different or be different. I think
It is. It is. And it's scary for a lot of people. It's scary because we were so many times we thought, don't talk back. I'm like, oh man, is this talking back? Can I tell Aunt Ethel to be quiet or shut up, or she might be next to be in the casket? No, in retrospect, hey, I ain't know you drinking water.
why you gotta be so extreme? Go
There
ahead.
are times when there are so many individuals who are afraid to go to family functions, family reunions,
Right.
picnic, Christmas dinners, Thanksgiving dinners, or just meeting some of the elders in their family again because they tired of, girl, oh, you fat. Oh, you ain't married yet. Oh
Mm.
man, look what done happened to you. Not saying, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in oh so many years. How have you been? But it's the negativity and the put down. So, you know, you can't say what you really want to say.
Who can't?
I'm just saying. It's
Oh,
not always it's not always respectful.
right.
Grace and patience. Like, you know, grace. I'm talking to myself now. Grace and patience. Grace and patience. You know,
Right.
with the individuals, and you pull them to the side and be like, Auntie, I don't like when you talk about my weight, or I don't like when you ask me why I'm not married, or I don't like when you say why I don't have to, or I don't like when you are just asking about certain things in my life.
Right.
It's disrespectful for me. It gives me a lot of anxiety and it makes me feel bad because you
Right.
don't ask out of concern, you ask out of putting me down in front of the whole family. Now, after you
Mm,
have had that conversation with Aunt Ethel, and she, God, I'm just, you can't take, we just family. Nah, you know. So then we gotta kindly and politely and respectfully put Aunt Ethel in her place, and then we may have to limit our time with her.
right.
Yeah, and it's okay. However, what I'm saying is give people grace and patience enough to change, to know that one, that hurts my feelings. Two, that's very disrespectful to me. Three, that's crossing my boundaries. And four, I'm saying that's none of your business.
Right. Right.
Yes, that's just what that is. And we
Very
want to do it in a way to where one, the elders will know that just because it was done to you, it's not okay for you to do it to us. And two, I'm the one that's just stopping the whole thing.
true.
Yes.
True. I
And
could
to
do.
be that one person can be scary. And that individual can be considered and seen as the black sheep of the family.
Hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
I can dig that. That makes a lot of sense though, because people think they're the black sheep, but they just speak their mind. They want to do something different, and they don't want to be treated like everybody else get treated. And you're not gonna disrespect me, and you're gonna talk to me like I'm a human being, and you're
Yeah.
gonna treat me like I'm a real person, and you're gonna respect my feelings. I can dig it. I
Yes.
can understand that.
Many individuals see the black sheep as a family as something that's negative because that's how it was presented to us.
Right.
So the black sheep of the family is very rare. The black sheep is rare in general. And so I do encourage individuals to look up the black sheep. So many times when there are some families where the black sheep is someone who may not make always the healthiest decisions for themselves or the family. But then
True.
there are times where you see the ones that's you have excelled in life, you bought a house, you may have moved a little bit out the hood, and you have a degree and you're raising your children, and you still considered the black sheep. And it's like, why? You don't receive the support or the assistance that you need because, oh, you think you're better than everybody else, and is, and will continue to consider myself to be because I'm just surviving and I'm thriving. Like once you pass surviving, you're thriving because
Right.
why continue to stay in a situation when you have the tools and the means to change? Now, everyone is not resourced the same, but you have the means and resources and you want to give yourself a better life and your children, why not? But there are those individuals, coach, who are also seen as the black sheep.
Hmm. I
Yes.
really don't consider. I used to consider myself the black sheep, but I don't consider myself the black sheep. I think it really has something to do with just me. You know what I'm saying? Like I love everybody.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love everybody, but there are times when I just like to be by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like when I'm really focused on stuff, like I don't talk
Mm-hmm.
to somebody, I don't answer my phone. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And it's nothing against anybody. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that I'm focused. So there are more times than not that I am focused. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm focused on the
Yes,
goal.
ma'am.
But I did consider myself the black sheep because I felt like although I was excelling um, mentally, financially, or whatever, I was just different. You know what I'm saying? Like I was different. My
Mm-hmm.
perspective of life is different from a lot of people that I know, or even a lot of people that I'm family with. My perspective of how to raise kids or how to have a healthy relationship, you know what I'm saying, is a completely different
Yes.
outlook on what other people may think.
Yes. And so having a healthy relationship can be considered disrespectful in and of itself. So I did not have a healthy relationship with my daughter for a long time. And the reason I said that is because I adopted the you're not 18, you living in my house, whatever I say goes, and you have to do blah, blah, blah. You
Right.
don't have any rights. You can't speak. You can't question me.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I attended church. So shout out to Tiffany and Daryl Page. It wasn't until I attended church that I was taught to allow my daughter to speak. And I'm always the outspoken one, as you prepared your listeners. You know, I'm in church. I'm in Sunday school, like or Bible study, raising my hand, like, okay, yes. I'm like, what you mean? Let my daughter speak? I ain't gonna let her speak. I got so many calls home from the school and da da da, because she was doing so much at that time in
Right.
school, and I was tired of phone calls. And he said,
Right.
we always spend the first few years teaching our children to speak, and then the next few years teaching them to be quiet. How are they going to learn how to speak as they get older? How will you know what's happening with them? Why can't they have a relationship with you verbally? And I'm like, oh man. And I apologized
Right.
to her and I allowed her to speak. I did not know that it was an unhealthy situation for her. I had to learn that. I had to be willing to learn that. And I had to be willing to put that into let's say into fruition or into being a doer of it. It's not just hear it, but just doing
Right.
it as well. Living out in practice. Man, my daughter taught to me so much about so much, like a whole lot of stuff. She talked a whole lot, and I love it. Like our
Mm-hmm.
relationship became so much healthier. So when people see us now, they'll say, "Oh man, I have such a great relationship," and I'll say, "You know, it was not always this way. Here's how it used to be," and I'm so grateful for where it is now. I
I can
didn't
understand
have that
that.
with
I
with
didn't.
my mother, but now I do.
Right. See,
Yes,
growing up, it was like you would be seen and not heard. And
exactly.
so for real, it was
Yes,
always shut up, stop talking, don't do that, sit down, don't move,
you
get down.
talking back.
What you doing? You know what I'm saying? So
I
as a
just want to encourage the parents. Okay, parents, listen. So sometimes the children do not know that they are talking back. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. I
Mhm.
remember I had to teach her and her friends what talking back was. They was
Right.
not getting it. They wasn't understanding. And I had to use a command and a question. If the teacher says everyone in that corner sit down and be quiet, and you're already doing it, teacher's not talking to you. There's other people that's not. And but I was already sitting down. I was already being quiet. So that's what we see as talking back. But
Right.
if the teacher asks you a question, a response is expected. And so,
Mhm.
man, you know how long I had to teach. I don't know if it was SpongeBob, Barney. I don't know what they watched, but it was like all of them. And it's still a whole bunch of them. We really have to teach them what things are because they truly do not know. I gave my daughter a spanking when she was younger because she did not apologize. So when I asked her why she didn't apologize, she said, I don't know what apologize means. I was like, okay. And still, so I still didn't wasn't always mindful to teach her something. So parents, guardians, please take time out and teach the children. They don't always know. Like they have social media. Social media teach them. They can rewind that video over and over and catch that song, catch those lyrics, and catch those dance and catch those moves for the video game. But they can't always rewind us to replay to catch that. So be mindful and just take time out to teach and guide them so that when they're out there in school or in the streets, after school program, playing sports, going to the store, they already know how to conduct themselves and interact with an adult.
Right. Right. And see, I am a different parent where I teach
Mhm.
them, I've taught them from young ages to speak, and then people will be like, "Oh, your kids got a smart mouth." And I say, "Well, what did they say?" You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? And so when they tell me, I'm like, "Well, he's not being smart. He's just asking you a question because you gave him a directive and he didn't understand the directive. So now he's asking you, okay, so what is it that you want me to do and how do I do that?" You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And so they're very outspoken, not disrespectful, but like they could speak their mind. Like my baby son, he get
Mhm.
into things like when I'm like telling him like, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do," because he a lawyer. I don't got time for that sometimes. Like I'm like, "Yo, listen, this is what we're gonna do," and you're not letting me speak my mind. And so then I have to be quiet and listen to him but sometimes your mind is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
But
you gave
you
but you gave him the opportunity to speak to an adult.
right,
And
because
so
I felt like I just me as a parent, I feel like
mhm,
I want them to go through as much of life as they can go through with me, because when they step outside the doors, you know what I'm saying, they're not going to share everything with me.
mhm,
But right now, they have the opportunity inside the home to say like this happened. Like for instance, my son, my older son, a couple of years ago, right when Trayvon Martin got killed, like
yes.
around that time, like in that time frame, and we were going to the store. So I was taking my kids and then my nieces and nephews. We all gonna go to the store. They on their bicycles, and I don't know why I had this great idea I was gonna walk. But anyway, so we go into the store, and he puts on a jacket with a hoodie, and then he got a black little thing. But it's warm outside. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? So
mhm,
I'm telling him. I said to him, I said, son, I really don't think that you should wear that, or when you go in the store, you should take the hood off. You know what I'm saying? So he had his own mind. You know, like I let my kids have their own mind. He got his own mind. So you gonna
mhm,
go in the store with it? Okay, cool. So I purposely stood on the outside of the store. I purposely stood. I didn't go in with the kids. I let all of them go in. I stood on the outside of the store. And
mhm,
so as I'm standing on the outside of the store, I'm looking at the clerk. I'm watching him, and then I'm watching him, and he's only watching my son. First, my
mhm.
son is a gentle giant. He both of my kids are tall. I got my 13-year-old 6'1". You know what I'm saying? And then my 16-year-old is 6'4".
They're
So
taller than me.
6'3". So he's 6'3".
Mhm,
Yeah, they way
mhm.
taller than you, Denise.
Yeah.
So, you know, like with them being big people already, I already told them like you have to be careful
Mhm.
because people gonna automatically think you're the aggressor because you are big. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And
Yes.
so he goes in the store, and the clerk is telling him, you can't come in here with the hood on. You got to get your hands out the pocket. And he's basically saying to the clerk, like, I got a lot of money in my mama outside. You know what I'm saying? And she got her money too. But the clerk is not even listening to him. The clerk is approaching him. So now I'm going to the door, and I'm opening the door gently because I don't know what the clerk has, but this my son. So
Right.
you going straighten up right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, but the moral of the story is that was his first time that he experienced racism.
Mhm.
And so he was so like on the ride back home, he was like so quiet. He wasn't saying nothing. He wasn't talking to the other kids. He was behind me on the
Yeah.
bicycle, you know.
Mhm.
And so I had to get his mind back into subjection. First, I told him, I said, you need to spend a moment by yourself and kind of process what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and when I'm saying process what happened is meaning what could you have done? Because first, look at yourself and what
Mhm.
could you have done to prevent that? And then what did the clerk do to agitate you and bring the drama to you? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Yes.
so, like I remember he was sitting by himself, and then I just seen the tears rolling from his eye. But like I told him, it's okay to cry. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like it's okay to cry. I know people teach boys and men not to cry, but I tell my sons cry because sometimes when you cry, that helps you think and process better. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it.
Yes.
I'm not saying you got to be like rah all the time. Like cry, say whatever you feel. And so it was an experience for him, but it was an experience for me because, like I
Mhm.
told you, my expectation is that you listen, but sometimes you're not going to listen. You're going to do whatever you want to do. And then, if whatever you're doing has a consequence to it, you need to
Mhm.
get your mind back together. Now,
Yes.
had I not been with you when that happened, or not been a parent that allows you to speak, process, be in touch with your feelings, you know what I'm saying? Then you probably would have handled this a different way. But you had the opportunity to think about what happened, to process, to cry, to express what you felt, and then let's get over it. So
Yes.
you can wear a hoodie, and not because I don't want you to, or you don't look cute, or nothing like that, but because other people are not going to be respectful when that happens. So just avoid the drama. Just
That is.
avoid the drama.
Mhm. And then it's those moments where your heart is beating really fast because we don't know you didn't know what the clerk had, and your sons are children
Mm-hmm.
appearing as grown men to some,
Right.
and to some that it's just a fear there because, oh man, I don't know who this meant. You don't even know that these are just children
Right. This is a
learning.
13-year-old boy. Yeah.
13. Just can't
Right.
help. He can't help that he tall.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the kids. They I gotta look up. Neck hurt, and
Right.
it's just that fear when they have that they when they leave the house.
Right.
Because people on the outside look at them as grown men, and they just judging them in general.
Mm-hmm.
It was very healthy for him to be able to have that moment with you to process his feelings, to sit, to cry, and to really think. Because when we were younger, it was, what you cry for, I give you something to cry about, type of
Right. And shut up.
type of
Stop crying.
situation. Type of
So
situation.
you,
And
you
so you're already disrupting that pattern that was passed down. And you're
hmm
saying, no, I need you to express yourself. I need you to think about it. Like, I
right.
need you to go have those emotions go through your whole body.
Right. Right. It's important. I mean, I feel it's important. And so that's why I say I think like I think a little different from people when it comes to expressing and talking to your kids and just talking to people in general. Like when people are talking and they're expressing their feelings to me as a coach,
Hmm.
I don't have blank face, but I'm kind of looking at them because I want them to really get in touch with what they feel. What do you feel? You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
and then if you don't know what it is you feel, describe it. I feel like crying. I feel like slapping somebody. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It
Yes.
makes me think about I used to date this guy. And so every time he used to get mad at me, he would be like, sometimes I just feel like slapping you. And I'd be thinking like, hey, you slapped me.
You want to test that theory out? Let's,
Right.
let's.
But then we had this conversation and he was like, I say that so I
Hmm.
don't do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, if I was somebody,
Because I mean, because you say that to me, I'm on guard already, like
right,
bust a
like
move,
I'm like,
like,
boy, we finna slap. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously. But
oh my gosh.
sometimes you have to say stuff out loud and to explain to someone,
Hmm.
like someone saying like I want to punch the wall. Like I want to punch the wall.
Hmm.
They're expressing what they feel. They're not saying I'm going to punch the wall. They're expressing like this is what I feel like doing, or I feel like slapping somebody, or I feel like crying. I feel like whatever you feel, just say it so then we can process those feelings and get you back into subjection.
Yes. Yes, and we have to, and I'm so grateful for you allowing them to do that because the society has always taken that voice away from men, and so in Tampa we just had Just Heal Bro, and they're doing a tour. I'm not sure where they're going to next, but they are on Instagram, and it was just a space for men to go and just share their feelings. Like as a therapist, I want to offer that safe space for anyone. If you're coming into my office, whether it's virtually or in person, to have that space to feel safe enough to share and to let me know what's really happening with you so I can help. Like I'm not judging, but I'm here to help. We're one to listen first, make sure you're safe, and just to help.
Right.
Just to help. Because not everyone have that safe space or people that they can just be themselves around and just exhale.
Right. Right. Well, Denise, that is our time, sweetheart.
Thank
Um, so
you.
on Zip My Motivation, I always tell people to lead the people with something positive, something that's gonna carry them to the next day, or something that's gonna carry them through life, whatever nugget you get. Hey, listen, I see you looking at me, right? You looking at me? I want you to give them a nugget, okay?
Yes. Okay, so listen. So therapy is not bad at all, okay? It's not bad. If you need a mental health checkup, I would say really go ahead and get one, okay? Um reach out to Zipmouth, or reach out to me and we'll give you some resource that will assist you to do that. So one thing I love to teach on is self-forgiveness. And so my mantra is remember to love yourself, remember to forgive yourself, and remember to be proud of yourself. Like those
Aw.
things we don't always do. Yes, please remember to love yourself. Love yourself
Mhm.
first. Even look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love you because you're the bomb. Remember to forgive yourself. We make a lot of mistakes, including myself. And
Right.
so we're living with those consequences of those mistakes. But forgive yourself for that.
Right.
Unless you're doing something illegally over and over. Now that ain't right. And remember to be proud of yourself. Be your own cheerleader. Be your first cheerleader. Cheer yourself on.
True. True.
Yes. Yes.
You got anything else for them, Denise? You want to give them a? I'm trying to keep you calm because it's only a matter of time.
Don't be telling them that. They might think I'm out here crazy.
Yes. Yes.
No, but we are
Um,
not
will you
everyone
give them
can.
your
Go ahead.
social media handles and then let them know
Absolutely.
when the healing mother, the healing relationship
Yes.
mother and daughter is going to be?
Yeah. So March 16th in Tampa, Florida, we're having the Healing the Mother Daughter relationship. So just come and be a part of that, okay? And I am on a lot of social media. So the name of my practice, I didn't even say that, D.
You
Okay.
didn't, girl. You put Denise Moore up here.
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
like,
Listen. So on Instagram and Facebook, my name is Grow, Empower, Transform Therapy. That's my name. Grow, Empower, Transform Therapy. And I will make sure that, you'll see the link in the comments. On TikTok, I am heal.empower.release. On YouTube, it's also Heal Empower Release. I'm on Twitter and I'm also on LinkedIn and somehow Tumblr, y'all, and Pinterest. I don't know. But it's y'all got a lot of social media out here. We're gonna try to figure it out, okay? But you can
right.
definitely reach out to me on Instagram and on Facebook at Grow Empower Transform Therapy. I do have a website and it's gettherapy.org, gettherapy.org. That's my website name. My email address is wellness@gettherapy.org. If you need to call or text me, it's 813-563-8227. And I also have a podcast called Heal, Empower, Release, the Healing Session, where we talk about all things mental health on there. It is not a replacement for therapy. We do talk about all things mental health. So tune in and I'll make sure that Zip My Motivation have all of my contact information. If you need resources in your state, just let me know. I have colleagues from all over this earth that does therapy, and I will link you with at least 3 people that's in your state. Hopefully they take your insurance or you can afford to pay them out of pocket for some therapy or at least a mental health checkup.
Definitely.
Yep. And we
Definitely.
therapists, we're Black, so you can come talk to us. We're invited to the cookout. Come on. We keep your tea.
What team?
We keep your tea.
Oh,
Well, I am a professional tea keeper. It's okay.
okay, professional tea keeper.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
I appreciate you for coming on the show. I'm sure because we'll be debuting another show this Thursday, right?
Yes.
You didn't even say it. Go ahead.
Listen, okay, so this Thursday we are on another podcast called Get Off the Block. So, with that podcast, we are working on just dismantling those negative family patterns. So, we're real, we're uncut, we're raw, we're authentic, we're going to be live. So, actually, tune in.
So y'all have to tune in. She has a co-host. Um, she want us to say her name. She there?
I don't know. She's not here. So, I don't know if we can say her name or not.
Okay, we gonna say her name right now. We're gonna
Yeah,
wait.
we not.
Yeah.
We gonna wait. She give us permission. We gonna drop it in the comments.
We're gonna drop her name. She don't
Yes.
try to act shy, so
Yeah, she
we ain't gonna talk
she
about her right. She know.
nah.
But we definitely will be doing that. Well, I'll be a special guest on their show.
Yeah.
The very first show. So I'm excited for them to really do this thing. And thank you again for coming on the show
Thank
and
you for
with your beautiful presence.
Thank you.
And hopefully, when you get done, you could go in the comments and you could put all your information. You might
Yes,
have to go to
ma'am.
two separate places to do it, but definitely put your
Yes.
information out there so people can contact you. And if you want to contact her and you just can't remember what her name was and you want to talk to that therapist lady, like some people be saying, like,
Yeah. I'm right here, y'all. I'll be
if you inbox and I will get you
yes.
connected with Denise. And as usual, I appreciate everybody who watches the podcast.
Yes.
Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, and I you can follow me anywhere. It don't even matter at this
She
point.
everywhere, y'all. She everywhere. She gonna pop up everywhere.
Just follow me because there's some big things happening. Don't forget, mother daughter. Healing the relationships of mother and daughter
Yeah.
is March. Is in
Come
March.
through.
You can find the Eventbrite. You can find it on
Yes.
Eventbrite, right?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
find it on Eventbrite, and there's going to be some wonderful speakers. Who are the
Yes.
speakers again?
Yes. Okay, so we have Demasha Beavers. She's a speaker. We also have Miss Shonda Peaton. She's a speaker. We also have Kira Haywood, who's also a speaker, and you have myself, Denise Moore, who's a speaker. So
Okay,
please come out and support. And if you do not need this event, share with someone else who may need this event.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. Share it with somebody else that may need it because it's going to be an awesome time. Wonderful speakers. It's an in-person event, so
Yes.
it's going to be, I'm sure, more than powerful. But
Yes.
again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Denise, stay on for a second when I do the intro or whatever. But
Yes.
stay on for a second. Um, Thank you, Denise, for coming to the show, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see
Thank you,
you soon.
everyone.